Thank you.
That was so stupid. Why can't I take my dog to that park, but I could take him to this park?
I know, right? I hate that park.
I love dogs so much.
Your dog is so cute.
Oh, thanks. Your dogs are cute too.
Oh man. Oh, I stepped in dog poo. Oh, I hate dogs so much.
Oh my gosh, I know, dogs are so annoying.
Hey, you see that dog right there?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put up a no dogs allowed sign and we're gonna get rid of it right now.
Okay, whatever to get these dogs away.
Bang, bang.
Oh my gosh, you just shot my dog. Ah! This is animal cruelty. I'm going to wrap go to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, okay, whatever. You guys are gonna lose this case anyways.
Yeah, this is our case.
The Court of the Highest Judicial Circuit, the Supreme Court, is now in session. The Honorable Judge Goldstein will be presiding.
Everyone but the jury may be seated. Ms. Gomez, please swear in the jury.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will truly listen to the case and render a true verdict and a fair sentence as to this defendant?
I do.
You may be seated.
Members of the jury, your duty today will be to determine whether the defendant is guilty or not guilty based on only facts and evidence provided in this case. The prosecution has been burden of providing the guilt of the defendant beyond reasonable doubt. This burden remains on the prosecution throughout the trial. The prosecution must prove that the crime was committed and that the defendant is the person who committed the crime. However, if you are not satisfied with the defendant's guilt to dissent, then reasonable doubt exists and the defendant must be found not guilty. Ms. Gomez, what is today's case?
Your Honor, today's case is Hansen versus Inc.
Is the prosecution ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is the defense ready?
Yes.
Your Honor, members of the jury, my name is Jack Johnson, and I am representing Lola Hansen in this case. I intend to prove Miss Ng guilty. Thank you.
Prosecution, you may call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I call to the stand Bobby Hubauer.
Will the witness please stand to be sworn in by the bailiff?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
What were Miss Ng's dogs doing at the park? That was against the rules.
Her dogs are playing at the park. The defense may cross-examine the witness.
Why did the government stop our protesting? Do we not have freedom of speech? Isn't that against the Constitution?
Yes, you have the right to freedom of speech, and yes, it is against the Constitution.
You may step down. Defense, you may call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I call to stand Bobby Hubauer.
Will the witness please stand and be sworn in by the bailiff?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Was the dog disrupting the park just as the protesters were disrupting the people?
The dog was just fine in the park, and that was a peaceful protest that you stopped, which is unconstitutional.
The prosecution may cross-examine the witness. The prosecution and the defense have now rested their case. The attorneys will now present their final arguments. Please remember, what the attorneys say is not evidence, however, do listen closely. They are intended to aid you in your understanding of the case. Prosecution, you may begin.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the jury, today you have heard testimony about how Miss Ng brought her dogs to the park where no dogs are allowed. On the fence, there was a no dogs allowed sign, so clearly she could have followed the law. I would like to remind you of some important information that you should consider in your decision. These facts include: number 1, there are no dogs allowed at the park. Number 2, while at the park, I and others have stepped in dog poop that was not picked up. And number 3, people had no right to protest for dogs at the parks because it is not allowed. Please find the defendant guilty. Thank you.
Defense, you may proceed with your closing argument.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the jury, today you have heard testimony about how my client brought her dogs to a park where dogs are not allowed. But she did not know that dogs are not allowed. You also heard a case about how the prosecutor, Miss Hansen, witnessed the act of animal cruelty against my dogs. I would like to remind you of some important information that you should consider in your decision. These facts include: the signs were put up after we got to the park, therefore the law shouldn't apply to us. Second, my client picked up after her dogs. And third, prosecutor inflicted harm to my client's dog. And fourth, the government stopped a peaceful protest. Please find my client, Cassidy Ng, not guilty.
Members of the jury, you have heard all the testimonies concerning this case. It is now up to you to determine the facts. You and you alone are the judges of the fact. Once you decide what the facts prove, you must then apply the law as I give it to you. Whatever verdict you render must be unanimous. This is each and every person must agree on the same verdict. The bailiff will now escort you to the deliberation room.
All rise.
Have you reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
What have you concluded?
We, the jury, in the case of Hansen versus Ng, have found the defendant not guilty. However, we have found that Ms. Hansen is not allowed to bring her case directly to the Supreme Court. The power of the judicial review grants the power to declare laws null and void. She also was not allowed to stop the protest due to freedom of speech. This stated, the part of the Constitution that allows Ms. Hansen the ability to bring her case directly to the Supreme Court is now found unconstitutional.
Thank you, jury, for your service today. Court is adjourned.
Judicial review is the power of the courts to decide whether the laws or actions of the government are allowed under the Constitution, or in other words, if they are null and void.
The power of judicial review is essential to the success of a constitutional government. An independent judiciary is necessary to run an honest government with as minimal corruption as possible.
In our court case, Hansen versus Ng, Hansen represented the government and Ng represented the people.
Their case was decided using the power of judicial review. Judicial review is used to protect the people, their values, their beliefs, and their natural rights. In our court case, Hansen lost because she brought her case directly to the Supreme Court, and that is not constitutional. Also, Lola and Jack, as government officials, stopped a peaceful protest.
The Constitution clearly limits the cases that can go directly to the Supreme Court without being in the lower court first. In the case of Hansen versus Ng, it would be called for that they receive a hearing from the lower court first. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and the judicial branch must act as the ultimate guardian of the political system. So Cassidy, how did the Supreme Court acquire the power of judicial review?
Well, in Article 3 of the Constitution, the power of judicial review is implied. Judicial review must go along with the guidelines of democracy, republicanism, representative government, and of popular sovereignty. All these forms of government require the people to be the ultimate authority and for the government to act on behalf of the people. So Lola, what is your opinion on the Supreme Court having the power to declare a law unconstitutional?
Well, in my opinion, the Supreme Court should have the power to declare a law of Congress unconstitutional because it acts like a check on the executive branch. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land, so if an act of Congress violates it, the Supreme Court has the power to declare an act of Congress unconstitutional. Oh, Cassidy, did you watch the news this morning?
Yes, I did. Have you heard about Trump's travel ban idea?
No, I haven't heard about it. What is that?
Well, Trump has ordered for 7 countries to not be allowed into the U.S.
Oh wow, has that been approved?
Well, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals and the Federal Court of Washington turned it down or declared it unconstitutional. But it's going to the Supreme Court for the final decision.
So, as you can see, judicial review is still relevant in cases today.
Monkey bars, Brendan.
Hey, you
Is it filming?
Hey, you now.
Okay, hey,
Is it?
Hey,
Yeah, I think
Brendan,
so.
Brendan goes in.
Oh my gosh, you just shot my dog. Oh my god!
Where? You see, I don't remember.